So as a married woman, I was terrified of anything and everything. I read the news, I heard the stories, and everyone said beware. And I was trying to be aware. I was trying to be vigilant. But here's the problem, and this is the problem with those of you who struggle with fear. I was a heavy user of fear. I bought and believed the enemy's lies that it was my job or Will's job to take care of me. This life full of what if and oh no, waiting for the next foot to fall, riding the brakes just in case, impending doom on my shoulder, listening to the enemy's lies over and over and over. I was a heavy user. It's kind of like this, honest confession. I love McDonald's coffee. I love small, black, 4 creams on the side. That is my poison of choice. And I will tell you honestly, this week I had McDonald's coffee every single day. I did. One day I went twice. And I know there are Starbucks users out there. You people are the same way. I'm just not as highbrow as you are, right? McDonald's coffee is only $1.09, $1.08 actually. But I remember reading an article in the paper a couple years ago that described that McDonald's used to distinguish who their best customers were, and they called them heavy users. And I realized that was me because I went almost every day, and I was like, I am not a heavy user. I just like the coffee, okay? But I guess the truth is, if I'm going every day to get McDonald's coffee, or sometimes twice a day in a week, I'm a heavy user. So a question, are you a heavy user? Do you use fear and anxiety daily? And you're like, well, Susie, come on. I mean, everybody worries about things. Everybody thinks about, provision, and they worry about their kids making wrong decisions. I mean, it's just like normal. Well, that's about as normal as a woman who gets McDonald's coffee every day. If you are using fear daily, if you feel anxious daily, if you are chronically worried and always on the alert and vigilant, if you are double checking the doors and looking under the beds, metaphorically, looking at your bank statement, checking your retirement funds every day, friends, you are a heavy user. You are using fear in an excessive way. Because Jesus said, don't be afraid. And you don't get a loophole if you're a parent and you have a kid. You don't get a loophole even if you lose your job. Jesus said, don't be afraid, I'm going to take care of you. And so I think it's really a helpful thing to understand whether or not we are heavy users of this thing called fear. Because if you are a heavy user like I was when I was newly married, you're going to have to look at yourself honestly and ask yourself, are you safe or are you sick? Heavy users of fear and anxiety are not safe, they're sick. I was not safe. Double checking the doors didn't protect me from bad things. Not everybody who wears a seatbelt doesn't get hurt, right? Not everybody who eats all whole foods and avoids known carcinogens, sometimes they get cancer, right? Friends, are we safe or sick? I was a fear addict. I was addicted to fear. I didn't feel like I could go through a day without worrying and feeling uptight and anxious and letting my mind whirl around and fill up with what ifs and oh no's. And if you're living that kind of life, I want to submit to you that you might be a heavy user of fear, and you might be an addict too.